You will miss the top. Why would I say that? How can we avoid it? Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit more as we get into here. But before we get going, check out the channel memberships. If the channel reaches 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year, I will open up the stalagmite posts to all paid tiers. That's where you get all my trade posts as I make them and members only videos. So I'll open that up through the end of the year, which should be the end of the Bitcoin cycle if we hit 10,000 subscribers here in the next couple of months. Also, if that happens in 2026, I'll open that up for a month. So go ahead and check those out. We got some great stuff going on in there. So why are you going to miss the top? Why? Because everyone does. Everyone misses the top. Unless you're incredibly lucky and you're just selling on the way up, like all the way up, you're not going to hit the top. And even then, you didn't hit the top because you were scaling out as you went up, which is the responsible thing to do and what I will be doing, which is why I'm going to miss the top. I've already missed the top. I've been selling things as we go higher and higher and higher. Every day we get an insane push, I sell a little bit more. So anyways, this is the Bitcoin chart. There's a couple of things of interest here. Now you're going to see a bunch of drawings all of a sudden. Okay, one, we got a double bottom right here. We got a double bottom followed by a bull flag right now. Okay, we might go a little bit lower. We might push to the 20-day moving average, which is going to be down here about 118.7. But that might be about 119 by the time that price gets to it. And as soon as we break this line right over here, as soon as we break this one, and I'll draw it for you, this line right here, as soon as we break that dashed line right there, which currently is a price of $122,000, we're going to make some major moves to the upside. We're probably going to do a measured move, which if we get our measuring tool out is, we'll go from the bottom of that to the top. Oh boy, we got to go a little bit higher here, huh? Which would take us to about 140-ish, $45,000. Could that be the top? Yeah, you bet that could possibly be the top. It's very possible. $150,000 is a big psychological level. This would take us just below that to get people to hold on just long enough to miss the top. So actually, I'm going to put a little line on there. Actually, I'm going to draw a horizontal line up there, and then I'm going to go ahead and put an alert on it. And that alert is going to say top, question mark, top. Do some Ron Burgundy, channel my inner Ron Burgundy there. All right, anyways. So yeah, about 144. I'm going to take a look at that because it's close enough to 150 to harm a great amount of participants who want to see it hit 150, but not quite make it there and have them hold and then sell somewhere down here around 116, which causes the cascade further down. So we're going to pay attention to that. The other way you're going to know that the top is in is, and let's go over here. It's going to be down here. I made a post about this yesterday. This indicator right here. This is the B-Xtrender. BX as an X-ray. X-Trender by Quant Therapy. Okay. This shows buying pressure and selling. So it's a mixture of RSI and MACD. Okay, shows a lot of stuff. If we go on the weekly here, we're about to turn green on the weekly. This turns green on the weekly, right? Goes from red to green. So it goes from dark red to light red, showing buying pressure is re-entering, which is what we've just been seeing the last couple of weeks. Green is showing an increase to the upside. So red is selling pressure, but it's weakening when it's light red. Dark red is strengthening. And then you've got buying pressure. Light green is increasing in buying pressure. Dark green is decreasing in buying pressure. And you can see that it's, fluctuating on that histogram. Now, if we bring back the big chart and we look at the weekly here, and you can see when it started going dark green, we had a bull flag, right? Mix that with the stochastics over here. I would have said that's a bull flag because there's green on yellow down here. Yeah, you're going to need more than one indicator. One's not going to do it for you. But this one is pretty solid for getting a rough idea. Like this one right here, look at this. That second week right there in December 16th, that big red candle, as soon as that came in, turned dark green. Second week stayed dark green, went just a little bit lower. Now it did come back to that top, but you have no way of knowing that. and it went way, way lower after revisiting that top. It wicked above. And then as soon as you got that wick above, woo, that's why it's important to be patient as well. Now, will it return to the same high? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. You get a big wick like that, you could have gotten out very close to the top on that one, or also not too far from the top on the other way too. So like, let's see, if we came over here and you saw the top right here, right? And let's say you got out at the end of this candle. You missed the top by 13%, which sounds like a lot. But when you consider that it dipped, 31%, you missed, a little more than half of that drop. So don't feel too bad about that in that scenario. So same sort of thing happened over here, right? Oh, and then if you got back in down here when it turned light red, that first candle, and then you just put a stop below that candle, you've just been riding this all the way up from $84,000 on. Okay, so right now we just turned green again, right? We just turned green again. So we went light red, light red. I'm looking for a little bit of a flag. I did get out of some of my IBIT calls yesterday, and the reason I did that is because I've got a lot riding on what's going on right now. I'd say that I'd venture so far as to say that I am over leveraged on a lot of things right now. So anytime I have some profit and it starts giving it back, I've been cutting it, because I'm getting to the point where capital preservation is more important than gains. Okay, some of you aren't at that point in the journey, so you're not concerned about some of the volatility. I am working on capital preservation. My account is up huge since April, and I am not giving any of that back. All right. So that's kind of like, some people might be getting frustrated with that. Like, oh, why did this guy sell his IBIT calls? It's so clearly going to keep going up tomorrow and next week and next month. And yeah, and that might be the case. And like I said, you'll miss the top. I'll miss the top. We're all going to miss the top to some certain degree. And I'm also at likely a different part in my investing journey than someone that is ready to just white knuckle through this thing all the way to the end. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Anyways. Yeah, I think we're going to go a little higher. Like we're getting green right now. Like if we close the week out where we are, we get a green. And that means next week is go time. Okay? And as soon as we get this thing turning red after this run, as soon as that first dark green candle, I'm probably going to be dumping a lot. Our dark green histogram indicator, I'm going to be dumping a lot. Let's take a look at the 2 weeks. So you can go into higher time frames. Higher time frames give you a better idea. The daily is full of noise on this thing, but the 2 week. All right, we got the 2 week. Look at this thing. The 2 week back here. Let me go ahead and just make this one nice and big. All right, the 2 week chart on Bitcoin caught this flag right here, spot on, right near the top. Caught this flag, and that dropped from 64 all the way to 48 right after. Now, this one wasn't great in terms of indicating it because it went up right after. Now, going sideways like that, probably not the best time. I probably would have gotten out after we got another closure under it. And then look, it revisited that high, almost revisited that high again right there in June. Okay, so yes, we're doing some candle analysis here today. Wicks on top, but you did notice wicks on top indicating it was going to come down. Like over here, wicks on top indicating it's going to come down. What are we seeing right now? Some wicks on top. So there's a little bit of concern, but we're green. We're green right now, so I'm not really concerned about that. The green is weak though. Look at this. This is a very weak sauce that we've had since August on Bitcoin, just sideways, 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 which we're looking for a possible pop up out of this. What about this lit dip over here? It went dark green for 1 2 week period, and then that second time it did, and we got this red dot over here. That was your signal. That was time to get out. You could have gotten out at 95, got back into 73. Cool. Back here on the 2 week, yeah, as soon as you got that dark one, you were already at the bottom. So sometimes it's great. Sometimes you're already hitting the bottom by the time it does it. What about the monthly? On the monthly, it's going to be a little more interesting. Like, on the monthly, we got that dark green here, which was near the top, and we went sideways for a really long time. We had 2 dark green, and we're about, on October, we're turning bright green. So that also indicates that we're generally going to go a bit higher sometimes. Not always, but a good amount of the time. Yeah, we'd likely go a bit higher. Also look at the top Bollinger Bands up about $150,000 as well. So let's look at the last cycle for that one. So on the monthly, yeah, we went on this epic run. And as soon as we got that dark green, it was already at the bottom. So the monthly might be a little bit too big of a time frame. You might want to look at a week, 3 days, something like that to give you an indication that, like, hey, buying pressure is starting to leave. Maybe I should too. And of course, do candle analysis with it as well. Like you see wicks on top, you start seeing like price. Like if we come over here in the chart on the left, like price got below this right here. that was an indication like, oh, hey, price breaks that in any meaningful way, it's probably going to go way lower, and then it did. So in this case, I'd be looking at about 108, 109,000. We lose that, then I'd be looking at price to move down in a significant way from there. All right, anyways, let's look at some Bitcoin miners. Let's look at some Bitcoin miners real quick before we get going. Whoop. All right, Bitcoin miners. Crypto looks good today. I wish Dogecoin would make a move. That would make me happy, but it's not. Bitcoin miners are moving amazingly. CleanSpark warrants. Look at CleanSpark warrants. Okay, CleanSpark warrants up at $1. It's at $1. What did I say? What did I say about when it got out of this consolidation zone over here? I said it was going to hit. It was going to run for 82. What did it do? It immediately ran for 82. And then I said, oh, it's going to go for $1 after 82. Where is it now? Immediately after 82. It's at $1. It's at $1. I bet you it hit $1.02. Let's go in there. Let's see. Did it hit $1.02? Did you touch $1.02? No, it's barely tapping $1 right now. Interesting. I'd like to see it hit $1.02 and like kind of give me a little consolidation there. I don't know though. This thing might just rip. It might just keep ripping. Because last time we were over $18, this thing just ripped. So don't be surprised if it does that some more, if it just rips and goes back to that previous high at 164. And if we eclipse that high, we're going to be running for, we're opened up to 225. We go above 225, we're open up to 263. Above 263, we are opened up to $4.24. And then I have to start doing some reassessing here. In fact, at 424, I'm definitely going to be selling some stuff. Actually, around 164, I'll probably sell a little bit. And I'll take a little bit of profit around 164, the previous high. I'll take a little bit of profit around $2. I'll take a little bit of profit around $3. I'll take a lot of profit around $4. And then on the way down, if it rolls over, I'd be taking like everything near the high, the previous highs, on, if it starts to roll over. But I don't expect that. I expect something like Cypher warrants to go off. Look at this, 30% in the pre-market on CleanSpark warrants. Let's go. The other one is Mara. Mara is starting to wake up. All right, pay attention to Mara. It's starting to wake up. Look at this thing. All right, look at this thing. Oh man, I gotta keep these drawings on. I have too many drawings. I'm sorry, this is a mess. Hopefully you can see through the mess. Cup, maybe one more little scoop, and then pew. Or as soon as we get above this price here, about $21. As soon as we're above $21, it might just go and say bye. Lockout rally, just like everything else has done. A lockout rally. I mean, just look at Hive. Look at this thing, straight up, and it's still going straight up. I'm glad I reloaded these off of the break of this flag down here. I'm so glad I reloaded there. That is amazing. Bit Farms, I am so glad I reloaded off of this flag here. Look at that, it's going. Hut, I missed that flag, so I wasn't able to get on that one. You know what else is lagging? Bit Deer. You know what else is flagging? Bit Deer. Okay, pay attention. Can, again, flagging. When it breaks that flag, boom, we are exploding upward, and it already kind of is, isn't it? Well, no, it's not quite. It needs a little more to go. So Luna, flagging, boom, gonna pop out. What was happening to all these other ones that were flagging? They pop, like, look at this, flag pop. That's what we're looking for right now. That's what's happening. You hear my water heater finishing. Wolf, Terra Wolf, look at this. I mean, it was a rising wedge, but it was also a flag, right? It came up, flag, pop. All right, Bit Digital, same sort of scenario. This one did an inverted head and shoulders. This one has some room a little higher, but I'm in Bitmine for my Ethereum exposure. Now, CANG, look at this, flagging, hasn't quite broken out yet, but when it does, I'd be looking at about 562. Once it gets above 562, though, we are looking at getting into areas where this thing can pop to $9, $10. Okay, that's what's going on right now. It's great. Really enjoying a lot of this. IREN, let's look at IREN. IREN is just parabolic. It's just absolutely parabolic right now. This thing is insane. Wow. So I got locked out of this thing after this one of these pushes. I can't remember. It was down here at like, I got shaken out down here when I saw this really wicked toppy candle, and I held a put down to about $15, and I sold that because I got scared, which was the right thing to do. And then it just lockout rally. It just kept going. You only had one opportunity here on September 8th, You had one opportunity here at September 18th, and like that, and then one more at September 30th, and like that was it. And then it just took off. This actually has really good premium on put options right now. So if you wanted to sell put options, IREN might be interesting, but I wouldn't get close to the money on IREN on that one, because when this thing does drop, it's going to drop hard. Like I would draw, yeah, this yellow line here maybe. Like where's that yellow line in relation? No, that's a little too far down. I think maybe this one right here. I'd be like looking here. Okay, I'd be looking to sell maybe like a 54 or something, which is, let's take a look. This is how I would be trying to get involved in IREN right now, because it's so insanely high. Like a 54, like a 55, and if you go out to November, that's $600. That's more than 10%. That's pretty good. And that gives you a cushion from where price currently is at 63, almost a $10 cushion, plus that $600. So it's more than that. It's like a $16 cushion from current prices. So like you're good down to about $49. And if price were to fall to $49, I think you'd have bigger problems than that right now. So it'd be falling past this previous high, which would be a problem, because then it's opened up all the way down to 34. So maybe I wouldn't play it. I don't know. I'm very nervous about IREN, but if you're holding it, man, good for you. CleanSpark currently up at $21. It's going to push to 22 likely, and then I have to reassess this thing. I have to reassess this thing at 22. In fact, I might run another fib right now from down here, something like this. And yeah, 22, 25. And then wherever this decides to take a pit stop, I'm going to run another fib to that. Could be 20, could be 22, could be 23. Who knows where it goes. Wherever it makes a pit stop, I'm going to run another fib and see about it running. I mean, we could run. Okay, so you know what we could do here? All right, let me get a weekly chart on. Okay, let me get rid of this. Here's what we're going to do. All right, I'll leave that fib for now, because I'm looking at the one. Actually, I'll just draw a line. Right there. Okay, I'll draw that line. Boom. Actually, that's not right. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I need to leave that there so I can have the down fibs without having to draw a bunch of lines. Okay, let's run this fib. Let's run this fib right here. The previous high from 2024. Okay, 2482. When we clear 2482, so 22 is going to be an issue for us right now. Okay, but when we clear 2482, we're open up to 33, 38, and above that, $60, just about 59.65. Okay. Those are our next targets for CleanSpark. It gets above 22 on this current move. We're looking for 24, 33, 38, which means on CleanSpark warrants, we're looking again still at that, 225, 263, 424. That's what we're looking at for these guys. Okay. Anyways, I believe that's all I've got for you today. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Those things do so much to help grow the channel. Check out the channel memberships. We've got 3 different levels there. Stalagmite is where you get your most bang for your buck with the real-time trade posts and member videos. If the channel hits 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year, I will open up those posts to all paid tiers. And if that happens in 2026, I'll open it up for a month. With that said, have a profitable day.